Program on advancing India's blue economy, the role of fisheries sector, jointly organized by ICAR, symbolizing our institutional identity and scientific spirit. We now begin the program on an auspicious note with the ICAR.
Please come.
Thank you, everyone.
Invited speakers and MOA's colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you. It's such a wonderful day for me to visit the city. Very interestingly, this is where my ocean professional career began. Very interesting. 1997. And this city has of course changed a lot. I couldn't really recognize the time that I came as a student. And I spent almost a month of my time here doing my BTech. And here I did a very interesting internship. That's where my ocean engineering career began. Ocean shipyard. I spent 1 month, 1997. So wonderful to see the city once again, and still doing so. In fact, I would like to thank the organizers for having me here on board of this training program annual function. So wonderful to see. I'm also looking forward to the next 4 days of learning, delivering lectures. I think I would really like to appreciate and congratulations to Viva as well as CMFI for taking on this responsibility. Whenever you organize a training program, it's quite obvious that the knowledge sharing, and I would say knowledge exchange rather than sharing. So it's mutual. You probably have come across large amount of professional challenges, or maybe you have come across solutions to the challenges during your professional lifetime. And those who come here to deliver talk would bring some amount of their own wisdom. and the exchange happens through this training program. And for that particular reason, I would like to congratulate Viva as well as for joining hands to organize this wonderful. To the local community, wherever you serve, wherever you have your professional service, and then the message percolates to the larger community around. So that's the whole idea, very purpose of this training. I'm happy to see that CMFR has taken the responsibility. I have a very quick presentation. Of course, I go to that only 5 slides and highlight what we do at NIOT from the global economic point of view. And I'm very fascinated by the Vincent's talk. That I think I'm very glad that a lot of ocean science has actually been from this place. And when we talk about blue economy, I think there are a few things that we should keep in our mind. Food, and this workshop very much addressing the part that blue economy is nothing but ocean economy with sustainability. And that's how we define in the simplest the economy that we derive from the ocean resources with sustainability attached to it. I think this is well known fact to all of us gathered here in the auditorium. The resource is common for everyone. It is not just only for the humankind. And the ocean resource is actually common for every living species in this world, or even for that matter, non-living resources as well. But we ourselves claim the most responsible species of all, that we should also give equal amount of opportunity for other species to share this resource. And that's exactly where the sustainability comes into picture. This is also being first emphasized by the United Nations through their sustainable development goals. We talk about food, we talk about water, and we also talk about the energy, and obviously the health, and obviously the climate science. This is being attached to that. And we claim ourselves the responsible species to be reasonable, responsible, and sustainable. So this is what exactly I want to try to convey, that the economy should be derived from the ocean resources in a sustainable way. And technology that we develop, either at NIOT or for that matter any other institution in the globe, they join naturally hands together. And you have one side, I think that Vincent as well as the previous speakers have highlighted, the demand on one side is ever increasing. It has never seen any declination. It has never seen any decreasing trend in the past few decades, at least because of our knowledge in our lifetime. So then the resources are always more or less same. Then how sustainable the harness could be is what we are talking about. The Vincent has already highlighted the synergetic areas where we can collaborate together, and I am really looking forward to this. And we at NIOT also call ourselves the institute responsible for the blue economy of the country. In a way that we can also contribute, we do have the marine biotechnology team, which helps us actually in harnessing the living resources. And we also have got some verticals which are also looking after the non-living resources. So the institute, although it is younger compared to CMFRI, but built exclusively on the blue economy right from the inception stage, and we are very proud to be contributing to the country's requirement. If you look at our vision to the website, it's very simple terms. NIOT has been instituted to explore the living as well as non-living resources using the indigenous technology, but in sustainable way. Very simple definition of our vision. That is exactly the definition of the blue economy that we have been talking about. Well, it has already been mentioned very clearly that if we are looking at the bioresources, our exclusive economic zone, very interestingly, is of the order, not exactly the same, but it is of the order of the landmass that we have. Compared to the landmass, the equal amount or almost of the the area has been used for tapping the resources or harvesting the resources, if you look at, I think it is very, very minimal. We should increase the energy or the resource utilization from the marine environment, but keeping an eye on the fact that it should also be sustainable. I think with this quick note, I would like to go ahead a few slides, if it's okay with you. I'll highlight what we do as a institute in the Ministry of Environment Sciences. We also have the moment we talk about marine environment, there will always be a set of challenges, and many are unknown to us and not known to us priori. But every challenge we would like to convert into opportunity, and that's exactly where we contribute as technologists. If there is a challenge, like Dr. Wilson has pointed out, there are some challenges of providing resources. Then we try our best to see that whether we can actually design something that will be sustainable. So the technologies are actually developed in-house. And we also have the capability to demonstrate at large scale, prototype scale. So we design, develop, demonstrate, and very interestingly, we also deliver that to the society. There are a number of successful examples of the design, starting from the drawing board to all the way to see that it is being successfully implemented for the societal impact. We have done that in the past 3 decades of that. Walk you through things has been the past 3 decades of that. Next slide. Yeah, I think this is known to us. Next. So you must be aware of the fact that our main campus is in Chennai, a place called Palikarnai, but we do have campuses in Nellore. There are 2 campuses, one in Hinterland and one seafront in Nellore. And we do have campus in Vijayapuram, SY Port Blair in Andaman. And we do have presence in Lakshadweep and all along the east and west coast of India through many project implementations and so on. If you look at our footprint, it actually starts from Arctic to Antarctic. I think we have done projects, we have probably deployed equipment, or we implemented projects from Arctic to Antarctic. Of course, it is being emphasized in the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean regions, where our interest is in areas. Yeah, we do have services other than what we just design and develop. I think we also service to the nation in terms of the ocean observations. This is one of our strengths, where the employees is also playing a major role of disseminating the data that we collect through their purpose. So we collect the data, we share it with the employees, and that is being disseminated to the entire nation. So, and we also have the tsunami buoys, as and when it is really required, we pass this message to employees, and then employees in turn gives the warning dissemination knowledge to the coastal community. And we do this as a service, and there are other services that we have been doing without actually, talking without that kind of services we are talking about. And at present, we are a responsible institution to implement one of the prestigious program under the ministry, Deep Ocean Mission. You will be familiar by this time. It is roughly 4,000 crore overall budget scheme that we have been handling under the Ministry of Sciences. And NIOT being the nodal agency for 4 vertical out of the 6 under the Deep Ocean Mission. And there are challenging and also at the equal time, I think interesting project that we have been implementing under the Deep Ocean Mission. One such challenge that we have taken up in our institute is what we call it as the development of Matsya. It's actually a project called Samudrayaan mission, something similar to your Gaganyaan mission, where we want to send 3 of the astronauts to the space, Indian astronauts to the space. We wanted to send 3 of our own scientists to the orbit of 6,000 meters. So you would be wondering, what is the big deal in sending someone to 6,000 meters of orbit? 6,000 meters is nothing but 6 kilometer deep ocean, 600 bar pressure. If you are not an engineer, it is 600 kilogram per centimeter. That means you are actually trying to transfer the entire load of your Maruti 800 or I-20, Hyundai i10 or something like that car to your fingernail, the smallest fingernail. So I'm sure you will understand what amount of crushing pressure that your finger will experience if you try to transfer the entire load of the car to the smallest fingernail. That's the 1 centimeter square I'm talking about. But we are bold enough to send 3 of our scientists to that water depth. So we can imagine what amount of engineering in-house design is required. And we have done that, of course, in the past without human beings and actually. Unmanned submersibles have been designed by us in the past. But this is the first mission where we have committed to the country that we want to send a manned submersible to water for 6,000 meters. And this requires huge amount of multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary engineering, science and technologies involvement. We talk about electrical engineering, electronics, communication, underwater communication I'm talking about. It's not a communication that you speak over the phone or on the land. We are talking about a communication system, wireless communication system under the water, in the water depth of 6,000 meters. If somebody says hello from 6,000 meters of water depth, and we are dreaming of actually sending this message to someone who would be there in space. And there is a dream talk already going on that we should connect Gaganyaan to Samudrayaan. Somebody should say hello from 6,000 meters of water depth, and it should be heard by the astronaut in the space more than 400 kilometers, 500 kilometers in the sky. Biomasses for the further industrial process and so on in our seafront facilities. We also have demonstrated the cage culture, deep sea fish cage culture in Andaman Seas again. And recently, just a couple of weeks before, we came to Andaman's North Bay, where one of its kind of fish cage being demonstrated by our team. It's called completely submerged fish cage in the deep sea. So when you submerge, there are a lot of advantages that you can probably avoid the vandalism of the fish cage and so on. I think the more deeper you go down, I think it's understandable that you get more nutrients as well. So that's the point. And this is completely controlled by the electronic design in-house again. So you can lower it and you can also make it actually emerging out of the water to collect the fishes and so on. I think this is again where I and Dr. Vincent can join hands together. We have designed a special camera that continuously monitors the submerged cage all the time 24/7. And each and it's also being built with AI and artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques that it monitors the individual fishes I'm talking about. Out of more than 500, 600 fishes, it can individually monitor the biomass growth of the fishes. And it captures the images continuously and it processes, and we also get the biomass ratio compared to being introduced as they go in and so on. So we have been doing that as continuous process, and this data is being actually transmitted in live, real time. So that's another interesting fact. Apart from the environmental parameter, including the capacity, salinity, temperature that we collect, we also collect the videographic images of the individual fishes, and through AI we are able to identify. And all this information can also be transmitted, provided now in a good amount of
Level.